Alright, hello all, welcome back to the Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video here. So, today we're going to be doing, some more Calcs. So, there was just so much, on my mind going on, whatever, with the data download and the units dropping and everything, and obviously it's still a pretty busy day. A lot of cool stuff. I actually did not realize that Omega and Gogeta, I had special equips. I mean, I knew the special battle event was getting updated, so I should have known, but I wasn't even thinking about it when I did the original Calcs. Right up until like as I was finishing, like I think I got to like the second to last super for like Omega's Calcs, and I was like, you know what? Did I actually check? And then I was like, no, I didn't. And I was like, at that point, I might as well just get this out because I don't want people to have to that want to see to wait an extra however long. And I had other stuff I wanted to record. And also, just in general, that was like a breakdown video too. I did want to take a look at Nouva Shenron, the free to play LR, because I thought that with Omega's sort of support, he would look quite a bit better. And I wasn't really sure about fitting him in there, so essentially the purpose of this video is to look at a couple. I did add some more scenarios for like Gogeta, um, just to his defense can vary quite a lot. So I more or less though I wanted to take a look at Gogeta and Omega with their uh, raw def equips, and then also fit Nouva Shenron in here with his extra defense that he gets from Omega. Well, double Omega. So that's what we're doing here. This will probably be a quicker one. These characters are all so crazy, and I think Nouva Shenron, I like him much better now than I did previously. So Dokkan cooked. I do think so. So let's jump in. I believe I'm at the top here. Okay, so I do also like post these on Twitter. So I did note on there that I thought I was gonna have to do more throughout the day. So that's I to make it more easily visible to see just how much the defense is increasing from the raw stats. I did just put like in parentheses next to what I already had set up. So this should help visualize how big of an impact these equips have. Now, this is like Link level 10, Rainbow, so do keep that in mind, right? Um, but still, I think it does go to show these can make a very big impact. So I'm just gonna sort of scroll through these kind of slowly, just talking generally, and then I don't want this to be too long. Just I already did the breakdown for Nova, Omega, and Gogeta. I don't need to go too in depth here. I did for the clones when I realized I made the mess up there. I intended for that one to be a shorter one, and I don't think I realized just how much like they would get buffed from raw def equips because they just have so little. So for them especially, it really blew me away. So that's why that's why that one was a bit longer. But we're just scroll through here. This is probably gonna be a couple minutes long. And I'll just talk about how good these guys are. Now, I actually have not tried either of them. Unfortunately for me, I've been talking about how special GT is to me. Unfortunately for me, the guy who says GT is special, nostalgic, whatever, I've not gotten lucky enough to pull either of them yet. I am very, very confident I will get at least one. I think I'll get Pity. I'm very confident I'll get Pity. And then hopefully within my stones, obviously I can manage to pull, one of them. That would be nice. So Gogeta here, obviously is like this is nuts. Like 50% damage reduction, right? 50% damage reduction. guard, right? 10.8 mil. Like, bro, I know this is like super duper rare, like having the full, like, I mean, this is literally like the one turn where Pan can do 6 supers and she actually does them. Or I suppose technically it could also be a turn if you're, although someone would have to be like off lead for the setup, mind you, but this could also be, for example, like having Blue Goku on the team, the tag Blue Goku and Pan would only need to get 3 supers there. I think this is definitely more realistic, right? Like this one. Well, or no, this one. My apologies. So this is just with a Blue Goku support or 3 Pan supers, right? So pretty realistic. Can happen constantly throughout the fight. This is your active skill turn. I mean, there is support here, but if you want to get even more redundant, this is just 60% SA phase support. Which obviously we're talking a huge drop off from what we were at the beginning. Well, I suppose towards the end technically, the big buff turn. But I mean, still 4,257,000. Like, there's no RNG to this. That's the crazy thing about him. Like, he's just this. Like, his defense can vary so much between what your allies are giving Gogeta, but Gogeta himself, he just has to receive attacks. Like, that's it. That's as simple and as complicated as it gets. So he's very crazy, and you gotta think, like, I didn't even calc like Super Saiyan 4 Goku next to him. Yeah, that'd be an extra 10% damage reduction with a 70% support. Like, that would do quite a bit, obviously. And then, you know, as we go down here, I did actually want to, considering he does have 70% of his phase 1 defense for the first 4 turns, you know, as good as I think he is, there are obviously going to be fights that last longer than 4 turns. So I just wanted to go through all of the sort of scenarios with that gone, if that makes any sense. So even without the 70%, you'll see here, he is still very much, very, very crazy. I think after I record this, I mean, obviously, I haven't done any calcs at 55%. I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to just, like, record a showcase with a friend unit, honestly. A friend Gogeta. Because I really got to see this guy. I got to experience him for myself. He looks too fun. He's just too good. Like, I got to use him. So I'm probably going to do that right after I'm done with this. That should be pretty fun. I do have pans, so I'll definitely be able to juice him up. But yeah, then we do have Omega. And, you know, same sort of thing as before. I do have him constantly considered under the other Omega support. So this would be as if this is turn 1 for Omega, if it's the Omega on the second rotation, essentially. You know, I don't have no Omega support active, if that makes any sense. Which I suppose I could, but I mean, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal altogether, because with how Omega is designed, and just how fights are designed in general. Like, I mean, the first turn he will be fine, and I don't think you really need to worry. So I think, I don't know. I suppose I could slip it in here, but I think it's fine just showing both Omegas, if that makes any sense. I don't know, because I really want Omega, and I'm gonna be running him like that, like, consistently. I mean, obviously you're gonna get the rainbow key sphere every single turn. You know, it's not really an issue. So I don't know. I figure this makes a lot more sense to show it just consistently. Because he is very, you know, his turns go pretty similarly, although his defense can vary within them based off additional supers. And that is really the interesting thing. Gogeta can vary so much defensively, but it's dependent on others, whereas Omega is pretty consistent. But it's his kit is consistent, but it's the actual defensive value is more so dependent on if you get lucky with, like, additional supers, right? But yeah, as we go through here, I mean, obviously, once again, Omega gets huge buffs from the raw defense equips as well. No surprise here. He's also very, very crazy. Now, I did make sure to know, I suppose I should, I don't know if it's actually, yeah, okay, it is. For Gogeta, I am considering GT and Saiyan Roar. He does technically also have shocking speed, but I figured I'd keep it not hitting literally every single possible link, just to the most common stuff. I figure essentially. Then for Omega, these initial calcs were sort of with only GT and with only Shadow Dragons, right? That's what this is. So I did actually want to do turns or show calcs for if he also, not only, also has big bad bosses. Currently, this is a little infeasible. It's really going to be dependent on like how strong like the Shadow Dragon Legion is, or like Shenron, those two EZAs that are upcoming. Unfortunately, until they release a same name update, even the Super EZA Omega will not help. I actually think, unironically, and I want to try this if and when I get my own Omega, I think AGL Omega could honestly be back. As crazy as that sounds, he can get up to 90% damage reduction if you're running like full GT bosses, and you get 5 Rainbow Key Spheres, which I know is a lot, but I mean, even then, let's say 83%, right? But I feel like, honestly, I think, and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like the full 5 Rainbow Key Spheres is actually it's going to be pretty common, I think. I mean, both Omegas have 2 instances of Rainbow Orb changing. I honestly feel like when you're running that team, and I've yet to see, I don't have him, and I can't really try him out on a friend lead. A, because the other Omega really helps him a lot. But B, just because he doesn't really have like other leaders where I really could run him as a friend. Also, he wants to be like on full extreme class, for example, right? So many issues with that. But what he like, it's just, I don't know. It's so crazy. I think. I mean, we'll have to see. If this turn becomes like available to be done. I mean, certainly, I suppose if you put him in like slot 2, and you have like Rose in slot 1 and Nouva Shenron in like slot 3, something like that would work for this. But really, we do need a same name update, and that would help all of these characters. So we'll have to see whether or not that happens, or how good the EZAs are. But I mean, this is pretty crazy because you can get up to 70% damage reduction. And even if you want to just say no support, by the way, I do have first 4 turns written here, but essentially all he gets from within the first 4 turns, like, it's not defense. He does get the additional super, so literally you could just like ignore this part after the first 4 turns, right? So this is what he'd be getting, and this would be the hidden potential super, right? So just keep that in mind. I didn't think it needed to be written as a whole new thing. I felt like that'd be kind of obvious. And then finally, we do have Nouva Shenron. So once again, I did already have his special equips. This is essentially the only thing changed is the 140% support, both Omega supporting him. And he looks quite a bit better. I mean, we're jumping up nearly 1.5 mil from the 140%. Like, this is actually really crazy. Now, I don't, like, is he tanking fucking Rose? No. But, I mean, he does have the nullification against Rose, so, I mean, that is worth noting, right? But, like, other supers, I don't know if there's any other supers that can build up to Rose's tier, honestly. I'm not sure. I haven't checked out, like, the new special battles. We'll see just how hard those are. But, like, as far as I know, like, Rose is the hardest hitting in the game, and I'm sure he wouldn't tank Rose, but he would nullify it, right? So, well, I suppose he could nullify it, rather. But everyone else, I feel like he should do very, very well defensively against. And, I mean, of course, you do have to succeed your chances, right? You're probably definitely going to want to do an additional build just to have the extra luck, right? But more or less, I think he looks pretty good. But yeah, there we go. Like I said, I did want to make this one a little shorter. And I mean, I didn't fully succeed. I I did yap a little bit, but we can end this here. I wanted to go straight into the Calcs show. Hopefully, I mean, it does show how much the raw defense helps both the new LRs, and then it does show Nouva actually gets a very huge buff from being next to Omega. So he did get help from Omega like I thought he would. I'm a little bummed that the domain doesn't give defensive support. Obviously, I mean, if it gave like 25% defense as well, that would be very, very crazy. But I still think Nova will be really good next to Omega. I still think like Omega's really, really good. I don't know. I really want to try him. We'll see if and when I manage to get him. I think I'm going to jump right into a showcase of 55% Gogeta as soon as I'm done with this, though. So I'm going to end this here. I'm really excited to do that. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Take care.